sister doesn't want you playing with me.
Welcome back, everyone, to our video game book club, where we are taking on a new game this week, Bioshock 2. This one is my pick, so I will just take it away. As always, we'll talk about a little bit of it. We'll check in, see what you guys thought. We'll continue on and just get your final thoughts at the end of it. But we know how this goes. We played Bioshock 1. So Bioshock 2 was developed by 2K Marin. And then, of course, when you turn it on, it also said like 2K Japan and like 2K Australia.
It was like so many different 2K studios. Yeah.
It was bunches. I don't know. So it's interesting. 2K Marin was actually created specifically to do the sequel. So it had like some people from the last game and so on. It is interesting to me why you created an entire studio to do this game and then was like, we're also going to farm out like 19 other studios to help with this. But anyway. So this game was released in 2010 and it was not done by Mr. Kitty Levine. He had, for different reasons online, taken a hiatus. I think back then he just was a little frustrated and said the deadline and the scope they wanted didn't match, and we had told our story about Rapture and I had nothing else to say at the time. Since it had kind of come out, since it kind of come out that like he was super burned out and had depression or something and couldn't continue on and was
Yoko Taro would tell you that that's when your best work comes out.
Sure. And you know, he did come back for the third game in Colombia in Infinite. So I think he had more to tell.
Plenty to say.
I think he had plenty to say. But yes,
he did. I just want to give early impressions on this. Even the small section we played, you can kind of tell he's gone. And you can take that however which way you want to take that. But I felt like when I was listening to some of the ambient dialogue and also the regular dialogue, it did not seem like Ken was there.
So if you have some examples that you want to share, we get there, feel free to share them. I didn't go as deep into the ambient dialogue that I did the last time, mostly because of timing. I'll be honest with everybody. But yeah, I don't know, man. We'll talk about it. So he's not there during this. 2K Marin did it by themselves. Apparently he consulted on this game is what they said. But you know what that can mean sometimes is looking in at your past work and pulling from your past work without ever talking to you and then just giving you consulting credit. So who really knows the depth at which he quote unquote consulted on this game? So this story picks up 8 years after the events of Bioshock 1. So Ryan and Fontaine are gone and they've kind of left a power vacuum in the city. However, that's where most of the story we experience takes place. It's not where this game kicks off. So this game kicks off New Year's Eve, 1958, 2 years prior to the events of Bioshock 1. And we are a big daddy named Subject Delta. We don't know yet if that has any direct tie to the first game, but remember, Suchong was experimenting with the idea of big daddies and little sisters and collecting the atom and doing the splicers. So we might be an early version of those, but we do look different, right? We've seen ourselves in reflections, and we see ourselves a little bit in the cutscene. We do look different than the big daddies that we fight in Bioshock 1. We look more like kind of what we turn into when we go to the factory, right? We kind of look like the Rosies, like a early version of the Rosies.
Oval like visors.
Rosie's the big one, yeah? Did I just say that wrong?
There's Big Daddies and there's Rosies.
No,
that's right. Yeah, we look like the Rosies.
Yeah.
So, anyway, when the game begins in 1958, Subject Delta is kind of patrolling Rapture with his little sister named Eleanor. and this character comes into the area, an older woman named Sophia Lamb, and it happens to be Eleanor's mom. And she is not happy that we're just chilling with Eleanor. And she kind of uses the same mind control tactics, not the same triggers, but the same sort of thing that we experienced in the first game that we know Suchong was working on, to command us to put Eleanor down and grab a gun and shoot ourselves. And that's what happens, right? We were powerless to do it. The screen goes black and Delta is gone, at least until 10 years later. Yeah, that's right. 58 to 10 years later, 8 years after the events, Delta wakes up again, and he's been resurrected by a little sister under the direction of maybe another character that we're going to get further into. So pretty soon we hear a familiar face or familiar voice, and Bridget Tenenbaum pops back up on the scene. So she stayed behind. Remember, she did not leave in the bathysphere. She's still chilling, taking care of these little sisters, running this place of rehabilitated little sisters. Although I do wonder, like, who's rehabilitating these sisters now? Or maybe she's just taking care of the ones that she had previously. It's not really clear, but she's still around. And she tells us essentially that, like, hey, you're awake, but you're still, like, your driving force, you're still tied to Eleanor, and there's a physiological bond between you guys. And again, like that, we kind of dug into that with Suchong in the first game. And she's like, look, if you don't find Eleanor, if you don't go like help her, there's a good chance you're gonna die. So this sets off where we are in Rapture here. We are a big daddy, and we are looking to get back the little sister that we saw in the cutscene, to help probably us and her, because that relationship between her and her mom seemed a little weird, right? So as we go off, we're trying to figure out what happened in Rapture, who's running it, what happened to Eleanor, and why we were separated in the first place, like why we were told to shoot ourselves. Which brings us to level 1, the Adonis Resort. So Subject Delta is making his way around a new part of Rapture, a place we didn't get to explore in the first game. And to be honest, it's not looking great. It's not, the game looks great. Yes. But the areas are not looking great. There's more leaks. There's water everywhere. In more places, the sea is kind of like come through and reclaiming. So there's like stuff growing and algae and other things. It's just kind of like everything's kind of creeping in through the seams, right? Nearly everyone is a splicer. And I know that was like kind of the case in the first game, but it's worse now. And we even find like a couple of audio logs from different people, like one guy talking about coming down to Rapture because he heard it was a great place to help his daughter get healed, and he just finds nothing but ruins and gets killed by splicers. And then we hear another man and woman talking to each other about getting to escape on New Year's, and they're recording themselves like getting ready to leave, and they're excited, and then they get caught, almost like, you know, a zombie movie. They get caught by all these splicers and killed in the bathysphere and stuff like that. So it's not doing great.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say was there's the one that you're talking about, the ones where the dude is down there looking for his daughter, and then like as it progresses through this part of the playthrough, like where he's like he keeps finding more and more shit all being fucked up. That was one of the ones that I first listened to that I was like, so I didn't find all of them, but I did start actively looking for them. To me, it felt like the quality of these audio logs was, I would say, a little better than...
I loved the one with the man and the woman who were like celebrating New Year's and all excited, but they're like we finally gotten our bathysphere. We're leaving. Like, honey, we're gonna start a brand new life up on the surface, and we don't have to worry about all this stuff going on. And then they just get caught, and you hear like the yelling in the background and stuff. It was good. It was well done. Yeah,
man. Like I was just like, dude, this is bad. Like I was enjoying it more. I thought it was just better quality all the way around.
Yeah. Now,
I even thought that the main thing with the story so far, right? Like I think like even the character, like there's one section that you hear like some over like audio from where she's like
Tenenbaum.
She calls out. She's like, Andrew Ryan is dead, and this is what like come to your mother now to do this, and like it like swings super hard the other way, right? Where like fucking Andrew Ryan and his original version of Rapture is just a libertarian's fucking wet dream and all this other stuff, right? But like she swings completely so hard the other way, where she's like, we are all like, all of you are my children working for the whole, and like doing all of this stuff, right? But she, to me, when she starts going on some of her little speeches in this beginning part that you're hearing like over the loudspeaker, I was just like, she already to me has a little bit more character to her dialogue and everything and her performance.
So Christian, you bring up a good point, because along with everything else we're seeing in Rapture, we're seeing some other stuff like paintings on the wall, writing, signs, and they're referring back to the character we met at the very beginning of the game, Sophia Lamb, right? So that's not specifically Tenenbaum. That's Sophia Lamb has kind of, she spends a lot of this playthrough in audio logs, even talking to us, saying essentially like, Ryan sucks. We're out from under the oppression of Ryan. Look to me as your new savior. We're going to progress Rapture forward to where it should have been without him gone. And there's a lot of graffiti and other stuff, some pro Sophia Lamb, some anti Sophia Lamb, like Lamb is always watching and other stuff. So we're not quite sure where she falls in the spectrum, right? Like it was pretty apparent in the first game. So it's pretty apparent in the first game, we had two people with ulterior motives driving the plot forward. We had one that seemed good, that was bad, and one that we were told that was bad, right? We don't seem to have that power struggle in this game. Seems to be one person that has grabbed the reins of Rapture in this power vacuum, and that is Sophia Lamb.
Also, shout out to Tenenbaum for having the balls to be like, I guess I'll go back and continue, because she talks about how the ending of Bioshock 1, the good ending, is the canon ending that they go with, right? Yep. So there's a moment in the beginning here when she's talking to you where she's like, I had a feeling that this was happening, so like I came down to investigate and saw all this happening, and now it's up to me to set this right, blah, 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 because the rest of my children and Jack are back up top, living their life, right? Like they're doing their thing.
Yep.
And I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, if I had gotten a bunch of these, like if I had gotten everybody out and I did the right thing, rescued all of them, they're living their life, they're doing good. I don't know that I would have ever been able to convince. I would have been like, you know what? If you're still down there, I tried. I'm sorry. But like, I'm not going fucking back. I'm not going back down there. I'm not doing it.
I think she has some Nazi guilt going on, like eugenic guilt.
Probably,
like,
definitely. But
I'm not quite atoned for my work.
If I helped save, what was the total? 18, 19 of them, right? Like in the first game?
In the cutscenes, like 7, but it could be more.
But in game, I think it's like total of like 18 or 19, right?
Yeah.
If I save 18 or 19, hey, look, if I missed a couple, I missed some. I did my time. I'm not going back down there. Fuck that. That's fair.
I will say before we move on here, like the game itself, when we're introduced to this area, like it is gorgeous. So I don't know how you guys are playing. I'm playing the standard Bioshock 2 game, not the remaster that they did later. It's just the one. And like the reflections in the water, the colors of the blues with the like neon lights, other stuff, like there's much better shadow and texture than like the first game. So even when they try to say like there's light coming in through the sea and so on, like this one's just so much more vibrant and deeper. The game looks gorgeous for its age, in my opinion.
I'm playing the remastered version, but I had to do some command line fuckery to fix some resolution stuff. So it's hard locked at 720 in the menu. There's nothing you can do. You cannot change the resolution.
I probably should have told you to just play the OG, only because everything I read was like, there's more bugs than updates in that game for the remaster. So everybody's like, just play the OG. It's just as pretty, but without the bugs.
You probably should have, but Preston and I didn't get the memo.
No, I forgot.
Didn't do my research.
No, honestly, I haven't experienced any bugs. Like, it's honestly been fine. Yeah. I haven't had any issues. It's only been visual stuff. But once I was able to force it to do the upscale, 1440 from my monitor. It's great. It looks very pretty. Honestly, the nice thing I can say about the art is that I just got and I was like, yep, still Rapture, which is like that's what you want. Like honestly, we haven't gotten to it yet, but there's a section later that I think you'll be talking about in this next level where we get a very interesting look because we're a Big Daddy. We get a very interesting look at the environment when we're transitioning from this first level to the next one that I think is very cool, that I was like, I just want to spend some more time out here before I go to this next door. But
yeah. Cool. So we do make our way around this first area, and of course it wouldn't be a Bioshock game without things like plasmids, and we do encounter our first one. It's called Electro Bolt. You know, seems familiar.
Still broken, by the way. Still broken.
Still
the
broken.
Best one in the game.
Still. So we don't have a wrench this time because we're a Big Daddy, so we just have like a drill on our hand. But shock drill combo still works great.
Who knew?
Yeah. The interesting thing about this too, it's just a little design detail that I thought was cool because you're a Big Daddy. Like when we go to stab ourselves with Eve and other stuff to like power up, we have this like little like line port, like injection spot in our gloves and stuff, which I thought was like a cool little
for injections.
Yeah. A nice little detail. And that kind of
comes around. I think it's funny that they have his voice, like, because the Big Daddy voice is always, you know, like, roar. So he's like, when he is getting into, he's like, roar. It's like shaking. You're like, dude.
Sometimes
I don't know who was in the booth for this one.
He is like,
I know. He's like, brr, and you're just like, dude, this is rough.
Yeah. Actually, I do have the note here. So I like that detail. And then later in this playthrough, I forget when, you can find an audio log that kind of talks about the Big Daddy, and it is Sophia Lamb doing this like orientation thing to a new Big Daddy. Like, hey, you're going to be used to like help fix and keep up Rapture, but like you're also super powered and you can use plasmid stuff. So like, don't use them around the actual citizens because they're gonna freak out if they see this big dude just like jumping around.
Yeah,
and
you're gonna ruin
stuff.
the fucking vibe. Yeah, dude, that audio log is so good. Like, you're gonna ruin the fucking vibe. So just like chill the fuck out and you.
So I like that little detail when he saw like use the injection spot, but. So we continue to make our way around, and we eventually come to a big open area, which seems to be like an arena. It's very pretty. It's a glass-top dome, and all of a sudden, out of the corner, we see this like lanky mechanical creature that looks kind of like a Big Daddy, but instead of having like, you know, our helmets, like one big red eye in the center and a huge needle that kind of looks like the bigger version of the needles that Little Sisters use to collect Adam, right?
I already have a premonition, but I'm going to keep it to myself.
Yeah, what's your premonition?
Because I haven't played this game. You guys have played this game both, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that Eleanor?
For some reason, I thought you were about to, I got that name mixed up with Elizabeth. I thought you were about to be like, is this also Elizabeth? And I was about to be like, Preston, great joke. I literally was about to be like, great joke, Preston. This is incredible.
Since we're going to find Eleanor, and all of a sudden we got this new lanky Big Daddy, and she's got the little fucking needle thing.
We defeat her later in this playthrough.
Eleanor?
No, that thing you're talking about. We defeat it.
Oh, that's
later
fair.
In this
Yeah, that's fair. But maybe,
but there's multiple.
There's more.
So
but no,
maybe Eleanor is one of those, and she has her own little team. We'll see.
We're not that far. We're
just
not
gonna put it out there.
That
popped in my head just now. I haven't looked at it forward. So if it does come to fruition, good on me. If not, it's fun.
Edit this out and put the Elizabeth joke in. That would be so funny. Just you being like, I bet this is Elizabeth, and then just cut to me and Alex clapping and being like, it's very funny.
I got nothing.
And then you go to like the old B-roll of like black and white movies where people are just clapping in the audience of theaters. We fight this thing. We defeat it later in the playthrough. So we fight it here.
You're not wrong.
It's just, I know. It's just kind of a damage thing where you fight it long enough, do enough damage, and it runs off. And what it does is it jumps up. It's very nimble. It jumps up the rafters and up to the ceiling, and it uses that little needle to crack the glass. It does scream. It's very fast. and the glass dome explodes and fills the place with water. And we, as a Big Daddy, are now underwater, and we need to chase this thing down. So this is the part that Christian was talking about. We need a way to move between areas, which is interesting because like we're too big to fit in some of those personal bathyspheres, right?
Well,
like
well,
we can't.
we need a way to move through this area specifically because when she breaks the glass, it starts flooding.
The whole place is flooding. But also like you need to be creative because we're big. We're Big Daddy. So with this, we actually get to traverse through the sea, through the open water
It's Big Daddy.
from one building to another. And I agree with you, Christian. Like this was a cool little thing to get to go.
Oh, dude,
outside.
the invisible walls in this section pissed me off. Like,
sure.
I get it. Yeah. I totally understand. I'm not mad, but I started walking, and then like the indestructible kelp was stopping me, and I'm like, fucking fuck you, dude. Like I'm like I could just walk right through this shit. I know, but like I was looking around, I was like, dude, it's when you first walk out, like when you're running past and you're going to the next door. Like a fucking like whale shark or something like swims in front of you and you can just like follow. But I was just like, oh, dude, you should like this looks so good. Like just everything about. Again, we harped on it, so I won't do it for Bioshock 2 because we harped on it enough for Bioshock 1. Rapture is still top 5 setting of all time. It's incredible.
Yep. I completely agree. So. We make our way to level 2, which is Atlantic Express. So we're going to spend a lot of time. Actually, we might spend all of our time in areas we haven't been to before. But yes, I think most of it. So
I don't think any of the names that I saw on the train map I did not recognize. From Bioshock
I don't
1.
recall if we did. I don't think we did Dionysus, which would have been the only. We do go to Fontaine Futuristics for a hot minute. I think that's it.
Wait.
Actually, I don't even know if we visited Fontaine.
Is the one because that's where we went down for the thing, right? The bomb.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the only one. So we'll see. But so Atlantic Express, we're still in pursuit of what we learn is a big sister. These are the new little enemies, and it's not a spoiler. They were shown off in the fucking trailer for this game, right? Like it was the thing. It was the big thing, the big draw. So we're exploring the area. We're fighting splicers. Of course, we can find some familiar things like tonics. So that whole tonic system works the same way, just like the first game. There's a hacking tool again, but this hacking mini game is a little different. So now instead of like being up on something to hack it, you can shoot these little hack darts from a distance. Nice. And they have absolutely simplified this hacking mini game where a bar just goes left and right on the meter. You got to click it in the green, or if you do the blue, you get extra. It's faster.
Dude, this hacking mini game is so much better. Oh my god, it's so much better than the stupid pipe puzzles. All the pipe puzzles are so trash. Doing this and just being like green, blue, like you just do it and it's like get the bonuses and then you fucking move on. It's so much, especially with the remote hack, because the remote hacking is what we get here to open this door. But like when you use it to like hack shit that's far away, like any of the turrets or stuff, and you can just be like in the middle of a firefight and then just being like bink, 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 and then you just move on. Oh, just
now the trade-offs are. One negative, one positive. One negative is the fact that like the game doesn't stop for you to do it like it used to, so you do have to you can be
which is why it's better that these move faster.
But the other thing that's better is that if you set off an alarm and you hack it, the alarm stops instantly, where it was a minute-long countdown before, which was awful. So real good there. So Atlantic Express, pretty straightforward. We find some new weapons, like because we're a Big Daddy, we have a rivet gun now, and we get Bioshock 2's version of like the trap bolt, right? Kind of that we had like the
that's a different animation for it.
Yeah, the whatever you call it, I can't think. Crossbow.
Just proximity mines.
Yeah, and we get some dialogue from Lamb throughout this level. She's kind of talking shit about like her knowing who we are. We should be dead. We saw the mark on your hand. Like I get all that, and she seems to know about our bond with Eleanor, and she's trying to like disincentivize us to come. She's like, look, Eleanor's better off. She's better at home. She doesn't need you. Don't come here. You'll never make it here. You should be dead anyway. Tenenbaum, though, tells us that while we're here, we need to meet somebody named Augustus Sinclair because he will help us get to where we need to go. Augustus Sinclair is a little background here. He's a businessman who owned Sinclair Solutions, which I think might have been said in the last game, but nothing beyond
that name. Yep.
Yeah, just the name. And it was like the main plasmid research company. So like in the early days of Rapture's construction, when the original like sinker platform was moored down to the bottom, which we'll learn about here in a minute. The men working on the Foundation discovered this like huge cavern in the bedrock, and they're like, we don't know what to do with this. This is a useless piece of area. Like we can't build on it because it's empty below. And Sinclair is like, hey, I'll buy that. And they sold it to him. And he's like, I'm a businessman. What can I do with it? So he turned this underground area into a place called Persephone. And Persephone holds a prison, and it holds a detention facility, and it holds some other stuff. And how Sinclair got popular, I guess not popular, rich, and in the upper echelons of Rapture, is he used to rent out the people in that penal colony to Fontaine Futuristics and Ryan stuff.
Did.
And they would be test subjects for plasmids.
It does come off in his dialogue and especially his tone, but the way you describe that is kind of, it's just so annoying that that's thought of. It's just like, I'm a business-minded individual. What can I do to make some money? Like, it's just so fucking irritating.
He's from Georgia, and he is he's got a southern flair to the way that he talks.
A bit of a southern drawl to that man.
He has a little bit of a molasses in his mouth.
I got some molasses in your mouth, brother.
Yeah.
I will say there's a murder in Savannah. I will say
there has been a murder.
He's the only actor I've been disappointed in. I don't think his voice acting quality has been up to par as some of the other characters throughout the series.
I think it's because they're making him do an accent.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it's written too much into the dialogue.
He could be a Georgia native. You have no idea.
It doesn't sound as enthusiastic. It's a little bit more flat. But yeah, he's just putting on that accent. So I don't know, man. I think this game does a lot of good enhancements with the voice acting in a lot of ways. And I even like what they did with the pictures and stuff. Like now when the audio log slides in, like I think they've enhanced all of that to just make it more engaging. But there are times in this playthrough with this guy where I'm just like, that was delivered fine. I just don't think it was your full 100%. So anyway. So yes, we're on our way. We do meet him. That is our backstory for him. So Sinclair will be our main guide for a while, and of course we're gonna have Tenenbaum in our ear. But mostly through this level, there's just some more audio logs and stuff that we have to pick up, and we're just trying to make our way to Ryan Amusements. So we hop on. Do we hop on the train to get there?
Yeah.
Or not yet? Yeah, we hop on the train.
The train is the main. Yeah. Throughout this whole playthrough, the train is the main thing of travel. It's actually fun when we get Sinclair, when we are doing the train thing, he's like, there's an attack that happens right at the end, and he's just like sitting on the train, like watching it happen while we are like trying to get everything ready to get in there, like fighting for him. And then he gets in, he's like, hurry and hit the gas, son. Like it's like a whole thing as we leave. It's ridiculous.
So again, like we can't really fit in bathyspheres, so they came up with this train system to help us move around. So what happens when we get to Ryan Amusements? We need to progress further because essentially Sophia and Eleanor are on the other side of the city. But in Ryan Amusements, there's just a blockade. Things are somebody is frozen the door shut with some debris in front of where we need to go. So we, only having Electrobolt, are not equipped to melt this ice. We need to find something else to help us out. Luckily, Sinclair remembers that he had an old thing they used to sell at Ryan Amusements called Ignite. So we have to go find Ignite. So that's the whole premise.
Dude, the way you are saying Ignite is exactly how he says it too. Ignite. Like he really does fucking put it on there.
He's had some practice.
Oh, look, man, I know this man. I've met this man in my life.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's fine. So this level it continues to introduce some of the things. Like all of this, I'll say this. This game, when it came out, was rated about as high, maybe just a little lower than Bioshock 1. in retrospect, it's rated as the best game in the series. So like it'll be interesting for us to see it playing it now to look back to see if we agree with everybody else. But the one complaint people had at the time is it's a little slow up front, and then it hits the gas and goes. And that's even with this third level, it's still kind of just saying like, hey, remember Rapture? There's stuff that like we run into the gun upgrade mechanic in this one, right? The We the People stations are here. So it's a lot more of the same thing to refamiliarize yourself with an area because we just played this game, know pretty well. So it does feel a little slower through these parts. But I thought this one was interesting because this whole place seems to be a museum dedicated to Andrew Ryan's hubris, right? Like
And
you
Rapture
walk in.
altogether.
Yeah, you walk in, there's like these 6 stalls, one's destroyed, so there's like 5 stalls that walk you through the creation of Rapture, and it's incredible. Like I paused and listened to every single one of them.
Animatronics coming down and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like a Disney thing, right? Where like there's animatronics and they light up and they say like, you know, they were on the boat and Andrew Ryan saw like whatever in the water. It's like, this is where we're going to build it. And then it went to the other part of like, this is how we got the construction and we built this ship to come sink to the bottom and moor it down. Like it was really cool, but it is all built to the godlike figure that was Ryan. So it probably came from his own mind. But it doesn't just stop there. Like as you continue on through this, it's kind of like, I don't want to call it a maze because it's definitely not, it's a trail. Right, like it's point A to point B, very linear this level, but it just winds and winds
Parts
forever.
are cut off, walls are broken down. To kind of, you're not just walking through the hallway. You're like, okay, I gotta go this way now, but you're still getting pieces of that story as you go through. Which is
The whole thing. It's like a full built city on a sound stage. Like you literally see it. It's city walls, and like there's more Andrew Ryan like dioramas and animatronics, and he's talking about like the evil man in Washington and the evil man in Moscow.
You do it there, but you can do it here because everyone's free to do what they want.
And sometimes you get to go backstage and you see these like huge mechanical things, like the arms that would pop out. You can see like from the back. So it is just this massive soundstage. It's a really cool design. But he is just like, everything up above sucks. You should be so lucky and happy to be here. And then there's this weird thing where he's like, if you know incredible people on the surface, tell us,
get them in.
And who knows, the next new face might be a familiar one. And it really felt like maybe they're stealing people from the surface is kind of the way they made it sound. And when you consider that with the oppression of Ryan and like,
or not even just stealing, because it's
yeah,
like it more so feels like what's happening is that like it's not like somebody comes up and puts like a bag over someone's head and like throws them down, right? It's like it almost feels like one of those things like someone opens a door and is like, look at all this cool shit I have behind me. Don't you want to come in and see this cool stuff? And then the person's like, yeah, I like cool stuff. And they get down there and then the door shuts behind them, the door locks, and they go, why'd the door lock? And it's like, oh, it's too late now.
Yeah. And you kind of get that in that like man woman like recording earlier because they're so happy to like get back to the surface, right? I thought aside from the main story progress of like trying to progress the train forward, this whole level was designed so cool, and with the ancillary dialogue and other stuff of just like Ryan's story was so well done. And I think, Christian, that kind of goes back to what you were saying. Like there are times where you feel like Ken Levine had a good idea and had a story he wanted to tell, but I don't think he could have fleshed out this world in the ways that this team was able to do.
Did he really flesh out the first one all by himself?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like helping him. Like, he's an ideas guy who had the money behind him, and he had people do the job for him. Which
I there was definitely some stuff here that I don't think would have happened with him. So we continue to make our way around. Eventually, Sinclair talks about the need for Adam because, like every game, we got to power these plasmids, right? So we're introduced, and I'll go through this kind of quick. We're introduced to a new mechanic of the game where
Adam
need some Adam, and we're gonna need more than just that, boy. So we find that we're Big Daddy, so little sisters will help us. Now we sometimes have to separate them from their previous Big Daddy. And essentially what you do is you kill the Big Daddy like we used to, and the little sister will hop on her shoulder, and we just essentially take her to a dead body, and she will harvest it for Adam, where we then have an escort, not an escort mission because you don't go anywhere, but like it's a protect mission where it takes about 2 minutes.
Because you do take... No, it is an escort mission because you take them places. You don't have to protect them on the way, but you have to take them places, set them down, or they do this fucking thing, and then you have to build up defenses around this fucking... Not a fan.
Same. I do not like it. I do not like it at all. I just hate when games make you do stuff like this, like slow you down for the purpose of slowing you down. My
thing, I will say, thank God the stupid ass camera is gone. That part, thank you God. Unless
the
it comes
research
back
camera?
later. Yeah. Of course it does. Yeah. Never mind. I must have forgot.
Shouldn't have told us.
So it's not. We don't have to research anything yet. So there's that.
I'm not gonna.
So anyway, yeah, I don't love the mechanic, but you get some. She collects Adam for us, so we get Adam that way, and then we can just put her back in one of the chutes. But before doing so, our morality system comes back. We get to choose: do we put her back and she gives us some Adam, so we get more, or do we harvest her and we get way more Adam? I haven't played this game in a long time. I've played Bioshock 1 a bazillion times. I've only played this once, so I did not go the evil route because I didn't want to be bummed at the end of this playthrough that I don't remember.
That's why you can always look up the evil ending,
which we will. But I'm going the good route. So I'm assuming you guys saved them too. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So you do get more Adam by harvesting, but we're all saving.
Could you imagine from Tenenbaum's point of view, right? Like in the first game, there was the whole backstory with that, right? But she was like, I'm already down here. I'm going to try to escape and save these little sisters. I regret everything, blah, blah, blah. So, if the person she enlists to help, like with Jack, if he ends up killing them, it sucks. But hey, I got no one else helping me, so this blows.
Yeah.
When she comes back down to save more, imagine she's like, okay, this Big Daddy's resurrected. We're going to do this thing. Let's go. And the first thing he does when he gets the chance is snap the neck of one of these little... It's like... If I was her, I'd just be like, bro,
maybe
come on.
Dude,
I'd have been like, yeah, you know what I'm doing? I'm getting out of my chair. I'm going back up to the server. You're just going to kill them all anyway. Then fuck this. I'm leaving. I got nothing to... I'm not
if this is my playthrough, you could almost even write your own headcanon where, she was disappointed that Jack killed everybody. So in her distress and being upset, she came back down to right the second wrong she did. And then immediately
and then it happens again and she's like, why do people keep killing my kids?
Please stop. Oh my gosh, please stop
doing this.
Yeah. So yeah, this mechanic kind of sucks. I don't recall how much we have to do this in this game, but you're gonna do a lot because we need a lot of Adam. And we have a lot of little sisters, so it's going to have a lot. I think there was 10 in the first game. I bet you there's probably about 10 in this one, too, if I had to guess. So, yeah, that's this one. We continue moving around. We talked for So, by the end of this level, we do face that big sister again. She meets us outside of this area. By this point, we've gotten the Ignite Plasmid. And we have a pretty simple fight. They strategically place this big sister where she's right by an oil spill, and then she politely keeps running back over that oil spill. So if you just keep lighting on fire, it makes this fight really easy. But it does a pretty nice thing to show that you are outmatched. They are faster than you, stronger than you. If you don't use the area around you, not everyone is going to keep running over this oil spill, right? You're going to fight them in bigger areas. There's something to be reckoned with. They're pretty tough if you don't have some help. So just telling you, you're gonna have to be smart about this. But once we beat that big sister, we get more Adam from it. We make our way to the beginning of this level where we burn the ice and we get the train ready. And as we get the train ready from the control room, Sinclair comes walking out and he's like, "Oh, thank you mighty kindly," and walks in the train.
Pro DeVille cigarette.
Yeah, and then to Christian's point, he sits down and he's like, "Sir, there are people attacking. Can we get this train moving?" And does nothing to help us. We find our way to the train.
And a grooving.
Yeah, we find our way to the train and get going, and that actually brings us to the end of this playthrough. This was pretty straightforward. It wasn't as big bombastic because it really was just acquainting ourselves with this world of Rapture 8 years later. So yeah, I know we've talked about it around, but any additional thoughts? as we move on here.
So I'm having a better time with this. I don't know if it's just because I played the first one or not, but I haven't felt like the need to like never, even like during the boss battles, I'll be like, maybe I should turn it down to easy. So I'm sticking with normal on this one, and it seemed to be going just fine. I appreciate the fact that this Big Daddy has an oval visor rather than just a circle visor. Because if I had to do the circle visor from the end of Bioshock 1 the entire game, I would probably not be super happy about it. But the oval visor leaves very little like distortion between like the ends of your screen. Well, I think the other one was just a little more of like you got a smaller window.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I truly don't remember, and we just played this game. In my head, you do the main visor when you get it to the end of that level, but then you had a cutscene in the elevator, and I thought it just went back to normal.
Because he took it off. Yeah.
Do you keep the small circle the whole time?
Not when you're facing, even when you're facing. Ryan
No, I don't think. I thought when you're facing
the first
Fontaine,
game, no.
Yeah, I thought when you're facing Fontaine, it goes away.
Yeah, Fontaine goes away. So in this one, you do keep
minute.
the entire way. The other one, you did not keep it towards the end.
You can turn it off in this game.
Oh,
I did see that in the settings. Actually, I thought that was
settings.
interesting.
I don't mind it as much, right? It's not that big a deal for me.
I haven't even noticed.
I think it helps with the immersion.
The issue I had with the being slow and clunky in the first game makes more sense now that I'm a Big Daddy. So I'm not as upset about like being slower, being more clunky about things. I guess it's where the older era of Big Daddies, we can now do plasmids because the other Big Daddies don't do plasmids. So we're a very unique version of this, obviously.
If I had to guess, Preston, and I can look up an answer later. One Big Daddy did turn on Suchong. I have a feeling somebody at one point went, having these big gigantic monsters with powers is probably a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's probably a really bad idea. If you don't give them something that can electrocute something, probably best idea. Like that, not the biggest fan of the fuel for the drill.
Sure.
I liked it when we had the wrench. We could do the things with the wrench. We don't have to worry about any ammunition with the wrench. Now, I do understand you can still swing your drill around. You can still swing your guns and do melee with your guns. It's fine. But I just felt like there should have been a little more with that drill because I find myself not using the drill as often. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have the drill and I have like 3/4 of the fuel. I'm like, man, I hadn't played it for like an hour and a half and I only have 3/4 of fuel on this thing. Like you figured they'd give it to me a little more. But you are bleeding. You're just slicing through enemies when you do have the drill on. Like you said, it's just shock, drill, shock, drill, shock. I mean, sometimes you don't even need a shock. You just need to come up to them and just hit them before you hit you.
Are you always drilling or are you just punching? I just punch. I never drill anybody.
Well, as far as with the drill, I drill because it actually stops them and it's just like a one-hit kill. Well, with the punching, I didn't know. I figured that would just be like a gun where you just like you hit, and you just...
Yeah, it's like you have to like twice. Just pop, pop.
There is one thing I wish this did have, which I wish we had a charge. Because while you are going very slow, there's plenty of times where the other Big Daddies are just like clunking out at you and they have that one good sprint to really get at you. I wish they had it because that would make the drill even more cooler for me because then like, okay, you do the sprint and you can kind of drill as you're going through. That would be rad. But we don't have that. Maybe you get something later on that kind of gives you a little bit more endurance or speed. Who knows?
There's a tonic. Did you not pick up the tonic that gave you more speed?
I did. It wasn't that much speed.
It's not. No, it's not much. It's not much at all.
Yeah, I did pick up that tonic. Yes. I'm doing a lot more looking around and grabbing stuff, listening to audio logs and stuff like that, knowing what I did from the first one. So I'm enjoying it. I'm still feeling the kind of same way I did with the first one. It's still a good game. I think the writing in it's really good. I haven't felt a big difference between the writing in 1 and 2, honestly. But I did miss a lot of audio dialogues in the first one, to be fair. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Cool. Christian, anything else you need to add?
Nope.
Cool.
This section's been great. It was.
Yeah.
I don't like that mechanic with the little girls or little sisters. It's annoying. I don't like the little tower defense thing.
I felt it was fine. It's like role playing as a Big Daddy. Like, okay, the Big Daddies are there to protect her. They get Adam from those dead bodies.
Sure.
This is us playing that role. So I kind of understood that, but I'm wondering how old it gets.
I have a feeling we're gonna get a little annoyed because I feel like I recall, and I don't remember 100%, but I know there's going to be one of these where we're not stopping splicers. We're having to fight against a big sister while the little sister's in. And that'll be annoying, right? With like something faster and bigger. So,
I'm sure.
So yeah, but I agree. Like I've enjoyed this time with it. I'm excited to see where it goes because I don't remember this one. But yeah, so I think it'll be a 3-parter because I think there's 9 levels. So we played through the first 3 parts. It'll probably be actually time longer in this one because, the more you get in the middle, it'll be meatier. But we are going to do Pauper's Drop, Siren Alley, and Dionysus Park. So we will do Dionysus Park, and then we will make our way to a place we've heard about before called Fontaine Futuristics. That's where we will stop. We'll stop there. So Pauper's Drop, Siren Alley,
is this going to end up being a 3-parter, or do you know? Okay.
I mean, it's only 9 levels, so yeah.
And this will be a longer one, so
I think this one will be a longer. Yeah. So yeah, there is that. Cool. Well, thank you for hanging out with us, everybody. Don't forget, again, as always, check in with Preston as it comes to Star Wars Sundays. We'll be back at you with another new episode next week, and of course, we'll have part 2 of this as well. So yeah, we'll see you next time. And with that, Preston, you know what to do.
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testing Room. To catch up on past episodes or to check out the newest ones when they drop, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast. If watching is more your thing, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@thetestingroom, or watch us live on twitch.tv/testingroomlive. To leave comments or ask questions, you can follow us on Instagram @testingroompod, leave a comment on YouTube, or send them in to testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.